It's July 19 and this is your Barbados Today News Update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Our top story: former Commissioner of Police Darwin Dottin loses another round of his legal battle, contesting his removal from office 4 years ago. Barbados' highest court, the Caribbean Court of Justice, on Tuesday denied Dottin's request to seek special leave to appeal a High Court judgment that barred his return to office. The court also refused to grant him interim relief. The CCJ ruled that Dottin's case was without practical merit, since he was effectively seeking to get the court to allow him to continue in office even though he has officially retired before making his appeal. With the substantive case still to be heard by the local High Court, Dottin had asked the CCJ to determine that there is no such concept as administrative leave, while arguing that he could not have been compulsory retired in the public interest under the Pensions Act of Barbados. However, the CCJ warned that Dottin could not avoid due process under the Barbados judicial system, bypassing the views of the High Court and Court of Appeal to have the regional court usurp the role of those courts. The CCJ also encouraged counsel to proceed with the substantive hearing of matters unless a stay had been granted by a court order. The CCJ dismissed the application for special leave and it ordered costs of $6,667 Barbados dollars in favor of the Police Service Commission. In other news this Wednesday, employees at the Bridgestone Port Inc. are back on the job. The unionized workers were protesting a move by the management to sidestep established procedures and bring in outside help to work after a team called in sick this morning. Our Ryan Jules has been tracking the story.
Tony Moore, the General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, told reporters that there was an acceptance on the part of the management of the Barbados Port Inc. that they had committed an error, but they sought to have it corrected.
The management of the port, like a number of other places, we imagine recognize that there is a certain amount of disquiet, and they try to anticipate the extent of that, but recognize as well that on this occasion they went a bit too far in implementing based on their anticipation. And they haven't recognized this, haven't recognized that they acted out of process. The management has apologized appropriately by exceptionally for this situation, recognizing that workers responded out of provocation, and will treat to that in the appropriate manner.
Around 20 minutes to 9 this morning, the workers downed tools, saying that the management of the port circumvented an established procedure of using relief crews from within the port before looking outside for help. In this case, the mooring crew had reported sick, and it would have been up to the management of the port to call out the relief. This was not done, and instead, workers say armed members of the Barbados Defence Force Coast Guard were called in to tie off a cruise ship that was coming into the port. Ryan Jilts for Barbados Today.
Meanwhile, union leaders remain mum about industrial action across the public sector. However, Barbados Today investigations revealed that workers from the National Insurance Department, the Central Bank of Barbados, and the Customs and Immigration personnel at both ports of entry participated in a go-slow as instructed by their unions today. Meanwhile, the Barbados Private Sector Association has summoned the country's business leaders to an urgent consultation tomorrow. The association says the meeting will update members on its efforts to encourage deeper dialogue on the government's medium-term fiscal strategy, among other issues. A quake with a magnitude of 5.0 occurred just southeast of Barbados around 9:31 this morning. The Trinidad-based Seismic Research Unit said that the quake was located at 12.31 degrees north and 58.61 degrees west. Another quake, a magnitude 3.6, reportedly occurred northeast of St. Lucia at 11:48 a.m. today. 4 people were injured and taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital following an accident this afternoon in St. George involving an unmarked police jeep and a Toyota RAV4. The occupants of both vehicles, 2 men and 2 women, were taken to hospital by ambulance. The accident, which occurred around 3 p.m. at Parish Land St. George, resulted in that stretch of road being closed off for close to 2 hours as lawmen conducted their investigations.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss Oya. Morning. You again. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl. You know they're going to provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the window for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shining. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Bermudians welcomed their youngest premier ever after a landslide election victory by the Progressive Labour Party yesterday. 38-year-old David Burt took the oath of office after leading his PLP to win 24 of the 36 seats in the House of Assembly. The One Bermuda Alliance claimed the remaining 12. He signaled that his party is ready to get to the business of transforming Bermuda.
Our aim is simple: to be a government for all of Bermuda, whether the haves or the have-nots, whether it is Front Street or North Village. We will be a government that will put Bermudians first and make sure we work to advance the interests of every single Bermudian in this country. We will be a government that will govern with integrity, that will govern with humility, and most of all, will work incredibly hard every day to improve the conditions in this country for so many of us and so many of our voters.
And on the international scene, a leading industrial ecologist warns that Earth is fast becoming planet plastic, and there's need for a major rethink on how we use plastic. More in this report from the BBC's Victoria Gill.
Plastic. It seems to have a million uses. So many, in fact, that we've manufactured 8.3 billion tonnes of it since it was first mass-produced in the 1950s. The very qualities that make plastic so useful, its strength, its durability, make it almost impossible for natural processes to break it down. So even out in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean, researchers have calculated that there are about 400,000 plastic particles per square kilometre. 18 tonnes of this stuff floated on the currents to litter the beaches of the uninhabited Henderson Island. As of 2015, these scientists worked out that we've generated 7 billion tonnes of plastic waste. 9% was recycled, 12% was incinerated, and 79% accumulated in landfills or in the environment. If this trend carries on, there'll be more than 13 billion tonnes of plastic in the environment or in landfill by 2050. Scientists say we now need a new, tailor-made strategy to deal with plastic once we're finished with it.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.